I never imagined my heart could shift from pounding with love to pounding with rage in a single night. It began as a surprise. I'd landed early for a business trip, 2 days ahead of schedule. I planned to sweep Claire off her feet, take her to her favorite bar, the Ember Lounge, where our first date had been, and remind her why I'd asked her to marry me. The engagement ring on her finger wasn't just jewelry. It was my promise, my future. But that night, as I pushed open the heavy oak door to the lounge, I realized a promise means nothing if it's only decoration. The bar was dim, amber lights reflecting off polished bottles. Music pulsed softly beneath the low murmur of conversation. I spotted her immediately. Claire, but she wasn't alone. A man sat too close, his hand draped over the back of her chair, their heads nearly touching as they laughed over cocktails. She twirled her hair, smiling in the same way she once smiled at me in the dizzy early days of our love. I froze, half hidden behind a pillar. My breath caught somewhere between my lungs and my throat. I must be wrong. Maybe he's just a friend. Maybe. Then she leaned in, brushed his hand, whispered something that made him grin like a wolf. That was it. The cocktail betrayal hit me hard. Burning, sour, unforgettable. I walked toward them, steps deliberate, as if my legs belonged to someone else. Claire, I said evenly, voice steadier than I felt. Her eyes widened, a flash of panic. Then she pasted on that fake surprise. James, you're home early. The man turned lazily toward me, sizing me up like I was the intruder. Who's this? He asked. This, I said, raising my left hand where my ring should have been, is her fiancé. Color drained from her face. James, it's not what it looks like, she stammered. I gave a hollow laugh, something that sounded nothing like me. The man shifted uneasily. Look, I didn't know she was... I cut him off, eyes fixed on hers. This isn't about you. I slipped my hand into my pocket, felt the cool metal of the ring. I had one slid onto her finger with trembling hands and tearful eyes. I held it up to catch the dim bar light, then placed it on the table between them. You can give that back to whoever you really love, I said softly. Then I turned and walked out. The night air hit cold and sharp, but cleaner than the air inside. My phone buzzed relentlessly. Claire calling, texting, begging. James, wait. Please, let me explain. It's not what you think. Come home, please. I didn't go home. Not that night. I drove aimlessly, ending up at the old pier, staring at the black water lapping against the posts. My hands gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles ached, memories flooding in. Our first date, her laugh in that same bar, planning our future under the stars, her whispering, I can't wait to spend my life with you. Had it all been a lie? Or had I simply not been enough? The next day I went home. She was on the couch, hair disheveled, eyes red. James, she said, rushing toward me. I made a mistake. It wasn't serious. It just happened. We were drinking. He's a co-worker. I raised a hand. Stop. Tears welled in hers. Please just hear me out. Her words meant nothing. You've been so busy, so distant lately. I wanted to feel wanted. Her excuse landed like a punch. So this was my fault? I had been working for us, I said, voice cracking, for our future. And you repay me by what? Practicing infidelity over cocktails. It wasn't like that, she whispered. It was exactly like that. Days became a week. Flowers, texts, promises of therapy, late-night confessions swearing she loved only me. But love without respect is poison. I began digging, anger, self-preservation intertwining, and what I found gutted me more than the bar scene. She had been texting him for months. Inside jokes, late-night work drinks, a hotel receipt from 2 weeks ago while I was in Chicago. Each discovery felt like a thread snapping, unraveling the life I thought we shared. The confrontation wasn't loud. It was cold. Claire, I said one evening, in the kitchen where we once planned our wedding menu. I know everything now, not just the bar. Her face crumpled. James, please. No, don't please me. You had choices. Not once, not twice, but many times. And every time you chose him, or at least not me. She broke down, sobbing. I was scared. I thought maybe we were too perfect, that I'd lose myself. I wanted to feel alive. I stared at her. You wanted to feel alive. You just killed everything. I moved out 2 days later. The ring, now a silent witness to our implosion, was already at the jeweler for resale. Friends called me cold. Some urged forgiveness. Others wanted me to expose her, humiliate her as she had me. I didn't want revenge. I wanted my dignity. Weeks passed. I focused on work, rebuilding the version of myself that didn't revolve around her approval. Nights were hardest, when the silence stretched, when I reached for a phone that no longer buzzed with goodnight messages. Then one evening, I returned to the Ember Lounge, alone, stronger. The bartender recognized me, nodded cautiously. There she was, Claire, sitting alone, staring at the door as if hoping I'd come back. Her lover wasn't there. Her smile gone. She stood. James, I didn't think you'd come. I didn't come for you, I said softly. I came to make peace with myself. Not as lovers, not as enemies, just as two people who broke something fragile and couldn't fix it. I'm sorry, she whispered, tears glinting in the dim light. I thought he made me feel special, but all he did was make me lose the one person who truly loved me. I didn't answer right away. My heart still hurt, but the wound was no longer bleeding. It was forming a scar. I loved you, I said finally, but I can't love who you chose to be. I left the bar that night with a strange calm. I wasn't taking her back. I wasn't plotting revenge. I was moving on. Sometimes, the most powerful act after betrayal isn't shouting, breaking, or begging. It's walking away quietly, with self-respect intact. Months later, I heard through friends that the man she'd been seeing ghosted her. She was alone, trying to patch the holes in her life. As for me, I traveled more, rediscovering parts of myself I had neglected. I met new people, laughed without guilt, and learned that healing isn't erasing the past. It's refusing to let it poison the future. And ring? I never bought another. Next time when I propose, it won't just be gold and diamonds. It will be with eyes wide open. Because love is a choice and so is betrayal.